All right, good afternoon, Ms. Naya. So I'll be presenting about the ethics versus reputation in the digital era, in this case, in the case of Nike. So this assignment is done individually by me, but it is assisted from a discussion with Zafran Arkan and Farhan Ramadan. So here are the introduction to problems. So in around the year of 2017 until 2018, Nike faced threat in its brand reputation and brand image as Mark Parker was alleged on harassment issues, conflicting with several senior women executives in Nike Inc. This was aggravated by Trevor Edward, Nike's brand president's attempt to hinder the public from the exposure of the aforementioned case. Besides, in the surrounding business environment, there hiddens the hashtag #MeToo environment, which highlight the encouragement of speaking up regarding harassment and sexual violations in workplaces. In this case, that happens in the Uber office and in the Google office as well. And yes, this problem surely affect Nike's brand image and brand reputations as one of highest profiting fashion industry. So here I used the fishbone diagrams to assess to still in the introduction to a problem. There are around five aspects which contributes to Nike's harassment cases. And the first one being the personnel, we have Mark Parker as the CEO, so he surely is being the main source of the harassment issues. And we have also Trevor Edwards as Nike's president, so his negative tendencies to dissimulate the harassment conducts aggravates the cases, the harassment cases. So he might have positive intentions, but what his acts even make this case even worse. So in the method side, we have Mark Parker and Nike Inc.'s board bad crisis management, as also exemplified by the boards, and there also happened bad communications and negotiations from the board of directors with Nike's human resource department. And also in the measurement side, we have inaccurate projections of impact about the gender discrimination and assault to Nike's profitability and sustainability. So in this case, Mark Parker and Trevor Edwards for conducting the sexual harassment, they might not seriously concerned about what this might impact the sustainability and profitability of Nike. And surely it turned out that it really affect them, and the prior inaccurate measurement really did wrongly, and this contributes to the main problems, which is the Nike brand reputation ethics threats. And also in the environment side, it is more of in the social environment. In this case, specifically the social movement, the Western social movement has #MeToo in, as I mentioned, in the Google office and in the Uber office. It really ignites the sparks of the social environment regarding the feminism. And also from the external parties, we have press and media, which unites the exposure of the harassment case. And also specifically, there is a website called Glassdoor, in which the reviews of the company, in this case Nike, also contributes to the negative exposure of the case. All right. So let's moving on to assess the main problems and concerns of this case using the design thinking tools introduced by Ms. Naya, which are the parallel scale and double diamonds. The first one, we have the priority scale. In this case, in the left-hand side, we have concerns that are urgent and important as well. In this case, we have to refix and heal the brand reputation of Nike. We also have to regain Nike's profitability and sustainability, especially from range of female products. So, as it is urgent and is important, so Nike must do it immediately and do it effectively. And also in the right hand side, in the right upper of the screen, we can see concerns that are important but not urgent. In this case, there are to establish sustainable catalog of products which accommodate marginalized groups across the globe. And also we have to foster Nike's own unique campaign related to the social movement. So as it is important but not urgent, then Nike should schedule it to do it later, maybe in the long term. Moving on, in the bottom left of the screen, we have the concerns and problems that Nike should do uh, that are urgent but not important. In this case, we have to rebuild the bond in the HR department. As we mentioned, it isn't being quite good, especially in relations with the board of directors. And also we have financial concerns of Nike stocks, in which in the year surrounding the case, Nike stocks went quite down. And why these two are considered not important but urgent? It is because it needs to be done immediately, but I think it will not contribute directly to Nike's profitability and sustainability. For example, in the HR department, it surely is in the internal problem, but HR are quite considered as the back office, so it didn't really contribute to Nike sustainability, and hence Nike should delegate this task specifically to all the HR departments and maybe surrounding departments. And in case of Nike stocks, it is more of the power of the stock market. So there are external parties are more have the power regarding the Nike stocks. So the effort to rise the Nike stocks from internal side, I think isn't quite worth the energy. So I think Nike should delegate it specifically to the financial management and asset management or investment management of Nike, and not do it as priority as compared to the left upper. And then moving on, we have the right bottom of the screen, in which the concerns that are neither urgent nor important. In this case, the concern regarding the Aztec Mito movement itself. So the Aztec Mito movement itself may be threat to Nike's of feminism, female product. And in this case, I think it is not a movement that Nike should try to stop. Instead, Nike should embrace it, because the first one, it is impossible to stop such kind of movement, because female audiences became more aware about this kind of cases. And if Nike try to stop, the customers might do a brand switching into another competitors of Nike. Hence, it should not be to be concerned, but Nike's and the executive movement must be let go, and Nike even should embrace it. So then from this priority scale, we compose the double diamond. So the left diamond is regarding the problems, and in the right hand side you could see the solution. So these both are derived or are correlated strongly with the priority scale diagrams created in this lab. So specifically, we have to discover the insight into the problem first. In this case, as I mentioned, gender discrimination and violation in Nike Inc. as misconducted by Mark Parker as Nike CEO, and also it is united via hashtag #MeToo campaign, and it created major threat to Nike's reputation. And then in the defined part, we have to focus more on area that we will compose the solution level. In this case, it is the gender equality and fairness as correlated to Nike's brand reputation. And then from the problem side, we try to move on. We try to move on to create another diamond as the double diamond. In this case, in the solution side, we start first by developing potential solutions. In this case, we listed several solutions that are possibly being implemented by Nike for both short-term and long-term. In this case, there are to establish catalog of products which accommodate marginalized group, to embrace netizens' critics in Twitter as well as other platforms. And then we could start Nike's own campaign in embracing social movement. And then Nike should restrict the quality control of employment staff. In this case, if the human resource are making sure that they won't conduct such harassment or violations, then such cases will not happen again in the future. It could be prevented. And then in the case of delivering the solutions that work, Nike actually have restructured the board of directors. In this case, Mark Parker was dismissed as Nike CEO in 2020, and it succeeded in quite increasing Nike's brand reputation again slowly but surely. All right, so moving on from the previously mentioned biological and double diamond, although there also contain some solutions, we try to make it more clear and maybe add some points here. So the solutions are to embrace the critics in the platforms such as Play Store, and then to display Nike's commitment to enhance gender fairness and justice for internal workplaces and for its customer as well as other external parties. And Nike should done this by, for example, having its own catalogs to accommodate marginalized groups and as well as other acts to show that Nike is care for social movements, for gender equality, and Nike is taking part to contribute. And then Nike will also aim for better and fixed review at Play Store by being openly talk about customers' concerns. So platforms such as Play Stores and other platform reviewer, I think Nike should have its own research and try to get back its reputation, its good reputations as compared to another competitors. And also Nike should try to showcase products which embraces feminism and other movements. And in this case, we have examples like denim or jeans usually symbolize working class environments. So Nike could use this kind of example to make their products which have a great philosophy that showing that Nike is care more about the philosophy and what the products have in value rather than just merely talk about the design, about the colorways and other stuff. And Nike should, lastly but not least, Nike should be strict on selecting board of directors and leads of departments. In this case, will not Nike should not select some person that have track records in sexual harassment or violations. So the track records of the CEO that will be appointed must be clear, or that he or she should display commitment to not do any misconducts. So in the right hand side, we could see some example of pictures that depicts what Nike has done and what Nike could improve in the future regarding their products, their campaigns, their acts in order to embrace social movements, in this case specifically the gender equality. So yes, I think that's all from me regarding this workshop design thinking assignment. I hope that creates some insights and it might help Nike in solving these harassment issues problems. And once again, thank you for your attention. And as Nike's slogan said, just do it. Thank you.